Welcome back, craft beer lovers. Welcome back to the Sandbar in Merimbula here. It's a bit cooler than it has been for the last week or so, but I'm guessing it's cooled down a lot of places around Australia at the moment. So perfect weather to try something a little bit darker. Tonight we're going to have a porter from Samuel Smith. These guys are in the UK. A little bit of a background on it. It sounds like they've been around for quite some time, been there since 1758. Apparently they got their own well in the brewery and they bring water up from underground. So while I'm getting this ready, I might just talk a little bit about temperatures of beers and glassware, because not everybody in the group is a craft beer nut like some of us. And for those of you who are not really familiar with the different styles of beer and the different types of beer, some of the temperatures and the glassware, I think it's pretty important to get that thing right. So this one hasn't been refrigerated at all since I received it from Wayne Cohen. Thanks, mate. Great beer mail. And because it's a porter and it's meant to be drunk a little bit warmer, certainly not at fridge temperature. A good way to run with some of these things is to work off the alcohol content. So if it's a high alcohol content, like say 10 or 12 degrees, you can drink it around that temperature. Now don't quote me exactly on that, but certainly, so if it's a lower alcohol content, like 5 degrees, 5 ABV, like a Pilsner or a lager or something like that, you obviously drink that colder, but the higher the alcohol content, generally the warmer you drink it. Interestingly though, this porter is only 5%, so you would say drink it cold. So it just throws that whole thing out the window, because I'm going to drink it at room temperature, which is basically on a cold night tonight. It could be anywhere around sort of 12 or 13 degrees. You also see I'm using got a big head on it, but I'm using a really open glass there, a bit of a more balloon glass than some of the narrower ones that we use for Pilsners and so forth. That lets it sort of, all the esters and stuff come out, give you a lot of nose around the beer, so you can get your nose in there and smell it. And also it'll tend to warm up a little bit more, especially if you put your hand on it like that. And so again, that's just opening up the flavours of the darker beers and the aromas. So it's a very sweet smell around this one. Smell a little bit of honey, probably a little bit of molasses as well. That's probably coming from the malt. Nice big, obviously very dark. That's pretty much black with a nice creamy head. On a cold night like this, there's really nothing better than a porter or a stout. If you haven't tried them, I know a lot of people in the group are hard craft beer nuts, but there's also, we're getting a lot of new people coming into the group that aren't. If you haven't tried them, try and find something. Give it a try. You got porters, you got stouts, you got Russian Imperial stouts, even the brown ales, some black IPAs, those sort of things. Give them a try, because especially at this time of the year when the weather's a little bit cooler, it's a really nice way to sort of warm up late at night, rather than what we typically do in Australia is on a hot day try and refresh with a cold beer. This is almost the opposite, because most of these beers come from Europe, where they're a cold climate, and obviously they want to warm up, they don't want to cool down. So drinking this at pretty much room temperature, nice dark beer, lots of malt. It's a bit like having a coffee after dinner, really. It's just something to warm you up, and this is a pretty good example. So I'll leave that one with you. Probably went on a little bit longer than normal, but part of the goal of this group is to try and educate people about the different types of beer and the love of craft beer that some of us already have, and we want to share that with you. So hopefully this little segment's helped share some of that beer education. Cheers, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.